What's up, guys? Welcome to another match highlights reactions where I sit down and watch the highlights of a game that I didn't watch on the weekend. This week it's Bulldogs versus Eels. I watched about the first 10 minutes but didn't watch all the action. This is property of the NRL. Go to NRL.com to watch the full highlights. NRL on Instagram or NRL on Facebook. Let's get into it.
5 gone now for the blue and white. Out to Lewis. Puts a left foot kick coming quickly forward. He'll score.
I mean, what a kick. That's perfectly placed, that kick. And from half to half. Now, a lot of people think, you know, this player should have been here, this player should have been there. But really, if we go back here... Now, if we pause it there is always a gap between the winger and the fullback when it comes to kicking. Now, the winger has to stay out in his wing, essentially, and the fullback... Sometimes some fullbacks get ahead of the ball and some fullbacks stay on the man with the ball. So there's always dead space between either the centre that's dropping back and the fullback. So it's basically a high risk play because you've got to place it on a dime for your 6 or 7, whichever half is running through on this, or it could be a forward, basically in between the post and maybe 10 metres from the post. You've got really that area to work. Not even that really, because when you see this land, and I'll show you, you've got Dylan Brown nearly there. I mean, look at that space there. There's basically 10 metres between Brown and Gutherson. And that's the dead space that you've either got to have watched them on video, know that they do that play, and always be ahead of the ball player. But it's really risky because if they shape a kick and then throw an inside ball or an inside grubber, you've basically left the inside exposed. So that's not really anyone's fault. I know some people will say it is, but... there's not really much Gutherson can do there than maybe be ahead of the ball and risk having a grubber inside being, you know, forced on him. And Dylan Brown and the forwards, if they don't get off the line to attack the people coming in when it comes to defence, then they're basically sitting ducks because they'll just put the ball through their hands and go over the try line. So that's just a pinpoint kick. Great start to the game by the Doggies. Oh, great squaring up. Oh, that's a great try, and it all starts with... Now, the highlights are only going to show where it gets to foreign, but I'll show you where it starts. When we go back to here... Now, if you... I don't know, I'm not sure who that is, and that's, you know, I apologise for that. But see the first receiver? See where he's standing? Now, a lot of first receivers that aren't natural ball players, they'll immediately run overs going where they look. So if you're going right, usually you start running overs to pass the ball right. But watch what this first receiver does. He gets the ball and he basically steps inwards towards the marker, which holds up the 3 defender, which is or the 4 defender, sorry. So you've got the wingers 1, centers 2, 7 is Dylan Brown is 3, and then the 4 defender. It forces him to stop and not be released to the next player. So they've immediately got an overlap here. Basically, you've got 4 on 3, and then the players just executed perfectly. Try time in the corner. Now, there are ways to stop that. Your winger and centre can just go, we've got short numbers here. Most teams call it red, and you just shoot out of the line, immediately cutting it off. The only problem with that is if the half sees you shooting out of the line and is quick with his hands, he'll either just go straight over the top or kick in the corner. Try time.
Now for Moses behind corner. Gutherson drifting, straightens Ferguson.
Oh, man.
Does he get it down?
I mean... that's just friggin' great running, and a massive man so close to the line. There's not much you can do here, really. I guess. Okay, there's a problem. So if we go back and we'll watch. So they're all pretty good here. Basically, straight line, everyone's square. Winger could maybe be a little bit behind Lewis, but not really. But the problem here is... watch Lewis. Lewis, if he stays square here and lets Gutherson run across him, basically he'll be standing in the spot that Ferguson comes through. So we'll go a bit further. Boom. See how he comes out of the line there? Again, it's way easier to talk about it than actually do it. He's actually trying to make a dominant play in the sense of get onto Gutho so Gutho doesn't run overs and possibly pass the ball to his centre. But as soon as he comes out of the line like that, he's put himself in a bad position to be able to tackle Ferguson. Whereas if he was still on the line there, he most likely either tackles Ferguson or hits him hard enough where people can basically come in and help him. But then this is just freaking a strong ball runner. He's got the most meters in the competition, doing what he does best. Oh, go son! On your bike, son. Oh, the king. The king. He put the foot down too. I mean, what a moment for a young guy like, I'm pretty sure it's Mahoney. Let's go back. Now, what's the issue here? Boom. I mean, I know we talk about it a lot, but, and again, it's much easier to talk about it than when you're on the field. So as a forward, you often want to be, they say line speed, and line speed will win that momentum back. So for example, let's say Mahoney isn't a good hooker that can read, what's in front of him and actually have the confidence to run the ball there. He's actually, Mana is actually going to have most likely have a dominant tackle forced on him due to the line speed of the Bulldogs. But the negative side of that line speed is exactly this. When he shoots out like that, he's past the ball. Whereas if let's say he didn't shoot out a line like that, number 17, he's exactly where that hole is, and he makes a tackle. It would still be a good run by the hooker, and he would still go to his front, and there would be another quick play the ball. So regardless, they're always going to be on the front foot. But it's just that getting out in front of your, shooting out a line like that instead of coming up together and staying square. And I mean, this is just great backup play by Gutho. And I mean, you gotta commend the Bulldogs' attitude here. It's 31st minute. Yes, they are up, but there's about 5 blokes chasing Gutho there, so it's good. Oh, stop it! Look at the big man go like a gazelle in full flight. Isn't he playing good footy? I'm so stoked for him, man. He's bounced back from a pretty tumultuous early career to be pretty much the best winger in the game right now. At least one of the best in the game. But in saying that, Takarangi's, you actually can hear him on the audio talking really well. And so Moses, you can hear Moses saying, go, go, go. So it just gives Ferguson enough time to make that decision. But this is pure instinct because this is such a split-second read to go for that intercept and risk having a try scored on you that it's only a guy like Ferguson who's played footy his whole life can really make those kind of decisions. So, for example, I was a soccer player. I never went for intercepts because I was so focused on all the little things. It didn't come naturally to me. I had to focus really heavily in defence. Whereas a guy like Ferguson, he just can sense that, I might be on here, jumps out, great defence. But it started from Moses calling Takarangi out, because even if Ferguson stays on his wing here, he makes a tackle. Takarangi makes a tackle on Holland. So it's actually, it's Moses' communication that gets this try done, in my opinion. And then obviously the big Zell down the side. Look at him go. Paulo's been good. Oh, a shake and bake, baby. Oh, that's great play. That's great play by Brown. Kieran Foran is a 3-in, so he's 3-in from the wing. Now, if Paulo just runs overs, they can basically slide off him and have enough numbers to basically get the job done. But what Paulo does here is he runs a BC line. And what does that mean? A BC line is you've got the A defender, B defender, C defender. So you're running straight at the B defender, and then you go overs to the C centre to get him interested and turn him in, and then potentially offload. You've got numbers, and you've got the defensive line stretch. And this is exactly what happens.
Paulo.
Oh, man. That's so good. What I love about this, he gives him a bit of shake and bake and then immediately puts the ball in 2 hands. Now, why is that important? If you're an outside back and you give a bit of shake and bake, how you doing, baby? You're usually thinking in your head, ball under the wing and just go, because you think you have the speed to do it. But what's brilliant about this and why he's such a good ball player is he gives a shake and bake, baby, and immediately looks for support, which makes his try. Whereas if he just guns it, chances are he doesn't make that try, because they kind of do have numbers there and it's a bit choppy. It's not like it's just easy hands pass to the wing. So it's great play by Brown. Just a natural instinct footy player that a lot of outside backs, not halves, outside backs, they may have the natural instinct, but usually it's when you step someone like that, your first thought is let's just put the foot down. But great stuff by Brown. That's it, guys. Another session done. Again, this is owned by the NRL, NRL.com, @NRL on Instagram. Go check their stuff out. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know who you'd like next week or what you'd like to change, if there's anything you'd like to add to it. Have a great week. Cheers.